Okay, everybody, it looks like we're ready to go. It's the top of the hour in our beginning of our webinar. I want to welcome you all to the OpenE webinars. Today is with the OpenE Dss V6. What we're going to be going over with is the installing the Dss V6 as a virtual machine in VMware ESX 4.0. Today is May 13th, 2010. And this presentation will be presented by Todd Maxwell, Technical Sales. That is who I'm speaking with you are hearing now. And of course, we have Rob Marcus, who is involved in our sales department. Let's begin. By the way, all our webinars will be recorded, and you'll find the demos and recordings at our website. Please visit the www.open-e.com library, webcast, and demos. And there you'll find a plethora of webcasts that we are saving for your review. The presentation is muted. The reason being is to avoid background noise, and this allows you to listen to me. Questions are always welcome, so please use the chat window on the right side of the net viewer in the bottom corner, and there you can ask questions. I will be taking breaks during the sessions and segments of the webinar to answer any of your questions. This is a free-form webinar, which means that it's dynamic in the way of how you want to ask questions and anything that you wish during the content of the webinar. So, I'd like to first start out is what we are promoting this month of May is the upgrade promotion for all expiring OpenE products. So we're giving a 50% discount for migrating to the OpenE Dss V6. This is very important because the end of life for disk on module based on OpenE storage for the NAS R3 and iSCSI R3 and DSS. So this has been already started for the month of May, and what we're going to be offering is the limited upgrade discount for previous OpenE storage products. So anyone who has the disk on module would like to upgrade their existing NAS R3 or iSCSI R3 or Dss V5 to the latest version of Dss V6, please take advantage of this because you'll have continuous support, continuous updates, and as we grow into new features and options with Dss V6, you might be entertained by this, especially with the 50% discount. Also, this is clearly on our website. You'll see this on the front page, the end of life and the special offers right there. You click on it, and it'll take you right to where and how to do your upgrade. So what's new with the Dss V6? Well, we had recently a new build come out, and this build was 4452. Its predecessor before that was 4362, where we had a lot of advancements, and we carried them over. What we've instituted on the 4452 is a brand new wizard. So what this does, and we're going to see this today as we do the installation for the Dss V6 as a virtual machine, we're going to look at how the initial settings work in the wizard. So when we install the Dss V6, we're going to see what this wizard is about. Basically, it's going to show you the step-by-step on adding the passwords for accessing the system, correcting the IP addresses, and things of this nature. We are going to be adding a lot more wizards as we grow into this version of Dss V6, so you'll be seeing more as they come. We have the new Sama version 3.52, and there is some improvements in performance with it as well. There's the new antivirus update that we've instituted, is now the version 0.96. And as always, this is the big one that we've been pronouncing most of all, is the support for volume replication with logical volumes of up to 16 terabytes. Previously, it was back in the older versions of Dss V6 and V5, and even the iSCSI R3 family could be only up to 4 terabytes. So this is a dramatic increase and an improvement. So this also works for many of the iSCSI failover logical volumes that you can have many 16 terabytes. So this is beneficial for your environment. Of course, we're seeing a lot of demand for the 8 gigabit fiber channel Q logic HBAs, and we have support for that as initiators and targets. So this is another feature that we're adding, and of course, we're going to have more features. So again, if you have some more questions, because we're about ready to go into our live presentation, I urge you all to visit our library where you'll find a lot of documentation, information like our data sheets, white papers, presentations, case studies, using our knowledge base, and a lot of how-to libraries of how to do certain things like replications, backups, snapshots, using our API function. Again, it's a plethora of information that will help you and your customers. And here are the links to help you out once more. If you go to www.open-e.com, and you'll see the libraries, the forums, and there you can click on pre-sales to ask for any questions that you might have concerning your possible opportunities that we can assist you on. And of course, you can always contact us. Well, thank you, and we're going to have more webinars that are going to be planned, and we'll set up a schedule online on our page and set you up for the date and themes as well. So we hope to see you soon. Well, let's begin. All right, in what I'm showing up here, if we are to continue, let me make one setting and verify. And we should be good to go. Okay, now what you're seeing here is I have on using the browser Firefox, I have right here on my tab a DSS-source data storage software, and also the destination server. What I want to show you is that we are using the build 4452, which is concerning this subject. I've already set these systems up, but before we start installing the DSS on the VMware, we need to do a couple things, and I always like to demonstrate what is needed and what we recommend. So as we begin, we're going to start off with the DSS source, and obviously in order to do that, we're going to need to create a iSCSI logical volume for the DSS to be installed. Here I have in my unit manager, I have some volume of significant value or insignificant, and I make sure that I create a volume group. By default, we will create the first volume group that's on the left, which is VG00. Now, once we go access the VG00 in the volume manager, we want to be able to create some iSCSI volumes and also to be able to create a NAS logical volume. And the reason why is we want to install an iSCSI volume. Now I created block IO for this case, and I assigned it for replication. I just put in 50 gig. What we require is only 2 gig for the DSS to be installed, and really even in a RAID volume, you can install DSS on a RAID volume, or in this case what we're going over is in a virtual machine. But I can carve out that 2 gig from the 50. I'm going to be using replication, and I also have a NAS volume here, and the NAS volume will be used to store my ISO images of DSS or really anything you wish to use. I've created another iSCSI block IO volume, and this will be for additional capacity to create a volume group within my virtual machine. Well, one of the things you want to make sure is when you want to replicate, you want to make sure that they're equal values from the source and destination. So let's take a look at our destination server. And on the destination server, we have our iSCSI block IO volume. And again, it is also 50 gig. And I matched it as well. And I also have 100 gig for my additional volumes that we're going to use. And I am using replication and auto failover. What you want to make sure is when you go into the volume replication with the volume replication for the auto failover, you want to have one set for source, which is obviously here for DSS source, set for source. Make sure you apply that, and on your destination, you want to make sure that on the destination server that the volumes are set for destination. And once you have applied that, we're back onto the source server. You want to use a dedicated NIC solely for the volume replication. This is necessary and also required in some of the documentation that we have if you look at the how-to resources from the library tab on our website. So I am, at this instance, I'm using a 10 gig E, and I've set the IP address. If you notice, it's a 20.221 pointing to my destination server. And if we look at my destination server, I am pointing to the source server. So that's the mirror server IP address. Once we complete that, we create our task, and here we've created our tasks such as DSS1 and DSS2. By default, it is synchronous, and here they are in their completion, and they've already been replicated. Now, once I've completed that on both sides, at this point, I'm ready to go into my iSCSI target manager, and we want to make sure that the target names, the SCSI IDs, and the LUN numbering is the same as the destination. So let's go ahead and get the destination up while we're here, and let's take a look at target 0. So on the source, we see source target 0 here. I want to make sure that name is the same as the destination. As you can see, they are. You can change the target name down here if you want to copy and paste to make it easier instead of just typing it out. Now, going back to the SCSI ID, they do need to be the same. This long string, just for the short of the conversation, I'll just state the last two characters, which is 6Y, and we want to make the LUN numbering the same as well. Then you can go ahead and hit the plus sign, which enables a target. Now in the destination, there's our 6Y again. LUN is the same value, and we enable a target. That completes that section, and now we want to be able to go back to our DSS source and click on the network iSCSI failover functionality. And let's do that also for the destination server. Now, I've already set this up, but in the beginning, we stated that the volume replication was on its own network interface controller, and ETH0 is that NIC designated for that. And here, we are not going to be using any virtual IP address. So that's very important to know. We are going to use it as an auxiliary connection. In ETH, and we can look here just for verification that the ETH0 is 20.220. ETH1 is going to be used as our primary, as another virtual IP address, and ETH2 is used for basically our primary node's IP address. ETH5 is, we're going to use this for our VMware initiators settings that we're going to use this for our target, which is going to be our virtual IP settings, which needs to be matched with the destination. So if we look at ETH5, that virtual IP address is the third octet and the fourth octet is 3.244. If we look at the destination server, we see that we have the virtual IP address set as the same. So you need that because they're both syncing up. Once again, we want to be able to enable the auxiliary connection for the ones that you are using for your virtual IP address.